It's an honor for me to be with you here again to present our final report of the European Union Election Observation Mission to the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. I can present you a report of 131 pages, which is a comprehensive assessment of all aspects in the electoral process. As you know, we came here on the invitation of the authorities of Jordan, and the EU Election Observation Mission has been here from the very first day on the 13th of August till the end of the process of the 6th of November. So we have really covered the whole electoral process. Now, we adhere to the Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation that was adopted by the United Nations in 2005, and to the Code of Conduct for EU election observers. And that means that we are impartial, we are independent, we try and we are objective. We are not interfering in the political policy of the country, but we are observing. Now, all in all, I think these parliamentary elections on the 20th of September have been a success. They have been well administrated and inclusive, and the election day itself has been peaceful and calm. And I think we have to commend to the people of Jordan to participate in these parliamentary elections. Nevertheless, nothing is as good as it cannot be improved. And of course, we found some elements of further improvement in the political reform process of this country. And the final report, as I told you, offers a lot of recommendations to the authorities here in Jordan, to the political parties, to the civil society. And we hope that these improvements and recommendations will be discussed and step by step as well implemented. There are three key areas where we have done priority recommendations. First area is a broader guarantee to enhance participation in the election process, especially towards women and young people. The second area is to enhance transparency in the electoral process. And the third area is to follow compliance with international standards for democratic elections. We think that these three areas and the recommendations we have done could boost public trust in the elections and reinforce the political reform. I will mention a few of our priority recommendations, and it starts with the universal right to vote and to stand, and that is the basis of genuine elections, the right to vote and to stand. And consideration, in our opinion, should be given to including in the Constitution of Jordan a guarantee of this right without discrimination of any kind to all citizens. Having regard to the youth profile of Jordan's population, consideration could be given to expanding their role in public life. We should engage the young people for public interest and public life. And we think there could be room for reduction of the age of eligibility for membership in the Chamber of Deputies. Concerning the participation of women we think that there are different instruments to enhance their role. We think that there is room to have reserved seats for women in each of the 23 electoral districts. We could require political parties to ensure the appointment of women to key decision-making positions, as well as by providing the right and opportunity to women to participate at all levels of the independent election commission structures. Regarding candidacy, consideration should be given to permit public servants to resign permanently only if they succeed in the election, rather than to resign before entering in the competition. In order to promote and facilitate greater participation in the electoral process, we recommend that the timeline for display the preliminary voter list and the amendments of that list should be extended and further publicized. It would be important to ensure that any limitations on the freedom of the voter's place of registration or as regards district of candidacy is not limited on discriminatory grounds such as ethnicity or descent. A revision of media-related legislation could be considered in order to reinforce fundamental rights and freedoms. Especially public broadcasters, the state-owned media, have an additional responsibility to act as public service, and therefore extensive coverage of campaign activities by electoral contestants should be included in the news. Transparency and public confidence could be greatly enhanced through ensuring the timely publication of full preliminary and final polling stations results, as well as of all IEC's decisions impacting on the electoral process. Direct access by observers and party and candidate agents to all stages of the counting and tabulation processes should be guaranteed, as well as the right for observers to issue their findings without restrictions. In order to enhance transparency and accountability in elections, campaign finance regulations could include specific reporting requirements applicable to all concerned stakeholders. And electoral districts. We think that specific mechanisms enshrined in the Constitution and the laws could prescribe the means of delimitation of district boundaries with the aim of achieving equality of representation between electoral districts. These are some of our priority recommendations. Now we have a lot of short-term and long-term recommendations. I will not mention them all for time reasons. Just mention a few. For example, the adoption of a comprehensive code of conduct between political actors, how they campaign, good behavior in the campaign process. The right to vote of persons with disabilities, of hospitalized people and detainees. The revision of the audiovisual media law to provide the Jordan Media Commission with the required level of independence. The right to stand for all citizens of Jordan, not just for ones with more than 10 years citizenship. And the second recourse of appeal available to rejected parties and candidates. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the European Union Election Observation Mission hopes that these priority recommendations no, you should give me some water because sorry, I catch the cold on the climate conference in Marrakesh already 2 weeks ago. So again, the European Union Election Observation Mission hopes that these priority recommendations, as well as the other suggestions presented in the report, will be considered by the authorities and all other election stakeholders. We presented the report yesterday to the Independent Election Commission and as well this morning to the authorities, and you will find the report immediately outside on the table. A round table will be held after this press conference with civil society, political parties, international organizations, and experts. Now, I told the authorities that our mission normally is finished today, but we are ready to come back to the country to any format that the authorities wish to choose. Workshops, trainings, in order to look into the implementation of these improvements. And at this moment, I extend my appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Political and Parliamentary Affairs, the Independent Election Commission, other ministries, and of course the people of Jordan for their cooperation and for the warm welcome that they have reserved to our mission. The mission is grateful to the delegation of the European Union and to the diplomatic missions of the member states, Canada, Norway, and Switzerland, resident in Amman. Yeah, that's all. I thank you for you being here and looking forward to your questions. Thank you.